If you're a Rays fan, it's a beginning of a new era that we've looked forward to for a long time. Obviously this new ownership group has been in charge for a while since the end of last season, but what they've done in getting this new ballpark to come to fruition in just 6 months is more than the previous regime did in 20 years. So it's right at the finish line. Hope we'll talk a little bit about that, but just for opening day. Drew Rasmussen is your opener at Busch Stadium. I'll call it Busch Stadium in St. Louis, one of the iconic venues of Major League Baseball, of all sports, on an opening day, beautiful weather, sun splashed. I hope. I don't know what the weather. I think the weather's going to be good today in St. Louis. It's this is what baseball is all about. I mean, you talk about old school, baseball. It's the Cardinals. It's the Redlegs, the Cincinnati Reds. It's the Giants, the Brooklyn Giants. All these great storied franchises. St. Louis is up there, no question about it. And the Cardinals are a great organization, and the Rays will start there. They'll be on the road for three series and then come home to face the Cubs at a brand new, well, I won't say brand new, but meaningfully refurbished Tropicana Field, which is going to be really, really cool.
And talk about, someone who's been to Busch Stadium. I mean, you can't ask for much better. That's a
Yeah.
beautiful ballpark right in the middle of St. Louis, too.
Yeah, it's quintessential, right? It's a downtown ballpark, which I think all ballparks should be in urban ballparks. It's kind of a walk-to type thing, and they have a village surrounding it that they've built over the last few years, like all baseball teams have now, highly successful. And now the franchise itself has come upon hard times a little bit in terms of on the field, but they are one of the most storied franchises. And for the Rays, it is a lot of new beginnings, as I mentioned, new ownership, first time they've ever had a payroll over $100 million. How about that? Inflation, right? So first time they've had a payroll over $100 million. There's a lot of new faces. No more Brandon Lau, no more Josh Lowe. A lot of old stalwarts that were here for a long time. There's a new page. We've got, because of injuries, we're going to have a new middle infield. Not sure who's going to be playing second. Could be Ben Williamson, but Carson Williams is going to start at shortstop. He's the future of the franchise at shortstop. Obviously, Junior Caminero at third is the hottest player in baseball right now. One of the great young stars, if not the biggest young star in the game. And Junior Caminero, 45 home runs last year, took over the World Baseball Classic. Super exciting player. Sugar Shane is back after 2.5 years away. Their best pitcher. Formerly started an all-star game. This guy could be a Cy Young Award candidate if he can stay healthy, and he has had a tremendous spring. Chandler Simpson, hopefully at the top of the lineup today, is as exciting a player as you'll find in baseball, probably the fastest player in baseball. And he's picked up a little bunting in the offseason, bunting for a base hit, which is going to add to his repertoire. Love that. So there's so many new things about this team that are exciting. Now, listen, there's no question they're overmatched in the AL East in terms of payroll still. With the Yankees over 300 million and the Blue Jays right there. Even the Orioles are spending 200 million. They're still the poor sisters at this point. They're hoping to change that, but they're still kind of the little engine that could. And I'm really excited to see how they score runs, if they can score runs. That's going to be the big issue. And we'll see. It's going to be fun.
One guy you certainly don't have to worry about scoring runs and driving him in is Junior Caminero. I mean, this guy has just taken the baseball world by storm, especially in the WBC, like you said. I mean,
Yeah,
what's the vibe around him like in Tampa Bay?
it's a vibe. It's a vibe. There's no question about it. I mean, and this is he's kind of the poster child for what we hope to see this new ownership group do, and it kind of ties it all together. What they want to build here in Tampa is a $8 to $10 billion mixed use ballpark area like the Battery in Atlanta, and use the revenue from that to put it back into the team like the Braves did and win a World Series. The Braves payroll used to be in the low 100s. It's now over $260 million because of their investment in the Battery and all the money that they're making. The Braves hope to do the same exact thing and be able to keep players like Junior Caminero, because when he hits free agency, if he continues this upward glide, he's going to be the most expensive player in baseball, and you're going to have $400 or $500 million to keep him. So that's what they want to do. They want to make him the face of the franchise. And instead of them leaving when they hit free agency, which was always been the problem here in Tampa Bay, they can keep players like this and build something long term, and not only with a stadium, but with the fan base. And we've kind of gotten used to our stars leaving. And hopefully that's not the case anymore. But either way, Junior's going to be around here for 6 or 7 years. They still have team control of him for that long. But hopefully an extension will be coming in the next couple of years to keep him here for his entire career.
Yeah, and the Rays' calling card for a lot of this run of competitiveness and success has really been, the pitching staff. Talk
Yeah.
about Drew Rasmussen. I mean, I think I saw 7 opening day starters in the last 8 years, and they're all nasty. I mean, talk about Drew Rasmussen, an all-star last year.
Yeah, he has been, 3 arm surgeries from this guy. But when he's on, he's as good as there is in baseball. He's super efficient. He can go. He didn't go more than 5 or 6 innings last year because of those arm surgeries. They want to limit him. But even in pitching 60, 70, 70, 75 pitches, typically 55 of those are going to be strikes. He's always in the strike zone, gets weak contact. He's just really, really good. Got a nasty, nasty slider and cutter. Really spots the fastball well, and he's kind of a bulldog. I just love the way he pitches. And, we'll probably see him hopefully for 5 or 6 innings, probably 5 innings. And then we'll go to a bullpen that is really, really stacked with great arms. And I know Kevin Cash is getting ready to unleash his 98ers. He's got a lot of guys in there that can throw hard. Different arm angles is something that the Rays always like to do. I got Clevenger coming from the left side. No more Pete Fairbanks, who was we loved him, but it got a little bit too dramatic in the ninth for my taste every single time he took the mound. So they're going to do a little closer by committee. Griffin Jacks, who was on a WBC United States team, he'll probably be finishing a lot of the games. Clevenger from the left side, Useda, who's on the DL right now, but is expected back in a couple weeks. They've got a lot of good arms in the bullpen as well.
And we talked a little bit about it earlier with Shane McClanahan. I mean, how big is it for this team to have him back, especially with all he's been through over the last couple of years?
I mean, this is like going out and signing a $400 million ace, to get him back. And since he's been on the shelf for a couple of years, it's about, I think his arbitration was like $3.7 million. So he's still very cheap. Now, the other part of that is, though, he's just hadn't pitched in 2 years on the mound. The spring has been phenomenal, as best you could hope for. They've dialed him down. Instead of max effort on every pitch, they've said, we want you to go about 80, 85%. And his fastball is still sitting at 96. And he's getting more movement from it. And it's obviously less wear and tear on the arm. So if that approach continues and it works, I mean, that's something that can keep him healthy for a long time. And when he's healthy, as I said, he's arguably the best pitcher in baseball.
All right, so for Rays fans watching it at home tonight, unless they make the trip out to St. Louis, I mean, beautiful trip if you could swing it on a Thursday. What should they be expecting this afternoon?
That's the thing, Johnny. I don't know. I mean, again, I love this lineup, what it possibly could be, but we don't know. We just don't know. It's a whole new thing with Aranda. Cedric Mullins will probably be hitting in the 5-hole. Who's new and is coming off a bad season, a couple of bad seasons for him. Carson Williams is still kind of a rookie, played a little bit last year, but we don't know how he's going to react to, being the everyday starter. So there's a lot of ifs and question marks. And I think that's, it's kind of like Christmas morning. A lot of these teams, what you're going to get. With the Rays, you really have no idea. The pitching, I think, is going to be good, and the defense is going to be good. But offensively, it could be a disaster. It could be surprisingly really good. So, it's opening day. It's Christmas Day. We'll find out when everybody else finds out. I think they're going up against Liberatore, who was a former first-round pick of the Rays that they traded away for Randy Arozarena, who's no longer with the team. So it's kind of a little bit of a homecoming there. But, we'll see. They struggled against lefties last year. We'll see if it gets better today.
And speaking of Christmas, I think Rays fans would like no bigger Christmas present than the official announcement of that permanent ballpark in Tampa.
Yeah, and it's getting messy over here. I tell you what, in social media, which is inherently negative anyway, there's been a lot of negativity about it. But I think from a from a political standpoint, the city council and the county commission, it looks, I still think it looks good. The final funding is still being negotiated. There's expected to be a vote on April 15th. So they're value engineering this proposal, $2.3 billion, trying to get it down a little bit, probably changing the roof design. So there's a lot of changes that are going on right now and some uncertainty, but there is money there. There's the people within the process that I've talked to said the framework of the deal looks good. It's just getting all the specifics down. And so my feeling is that they'll probably get this vote done April 15th. I think it will pass. They may have to delay a couple more weeks to get, some of the funding really dialed in. And a lot of it is questions about when stuff will be built and when that tax revenue is going to be coming back to the county, because that's how they bond these things out. We don't need to get into all that minutia, but there's just a lot of different, questions, timelines that need to be answered and figured out in terms of private funding and when they're going to build stuff, when that revenue is coming back to the taxpayers, et cetera. So, but I think the good news is the framework, is in place. And now it's just a matter of finding out when stuff gets paid, how it gets paid. And the Rays are taking on a tremendous burden of this. They're looking for about $1 billion from the taxpayers. They're going to put in $8 to $10 billion for the entire mixed use. They're going to pay at least 50% for the actual stadium. I think it'll probably end up being closer to 60, plus cost overruns, plus maintenance, plus operations. So the Rays are, when you compare this deal to many other deals, this is a great deal. I think a very fair deal for the taxpayers. And I think 10 cities would line up for this opportunity. And I think Orlando would be at the top of that list. If Hillsborough can't get this done, there's plenty of places where they can go. And hopefully our leaders in this area realize that, because I would not want to be the vote that sends the Rays to Orlando as a politician. I think that would pretty much be the end of your career. So we'll see where it goes, but I think it's going to get done.
Awesome. JP, where can fans find you if they want to hear more from you?
FanStreamSports.com is our website. We got lots of great stuff up there covering the Tampa Bay area. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook, on X at the JP Peterson Show. Just Google us, JP Peterson Show, and you'll find up all the platforms that we're on. There's some I don't even know, Twitch and Kick and stuff like that. You would know, John. I have no idea, but we're out there. Just Google us.